Happy New Year. It is Wednesday, the 1st of January, 2025. First time I've got to say that. It's 2025. Big shout out to Katrina and Scott and Russell in the chat. I don't know if anyone else is awake. I wasn't awake until about 15 minutes ago, which you'll probably be able to tell quite fast watching this. And the speed at which I made the thumbnail and also wrote blurb and also made myself a cup of coffee. I was only 3 minutes late. It's all right, isn't it? It's all right for New Year. Hey, Ghost Pouch, how you doing? Cathal says, Happy New Year. Best wishes to you as well, Cathal. If you would like to join Katrina, Scott, Russell, Ghost Pouch, Cathal and Peter in Fuerteventura in the chat, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button, wait for a minute, and then you can join them. You can just join us, as long as you're not a troll. It's fine. Liebchen saying morning all, and Jan saying hello from France, who got New Year a whole hour ahead of us. Cheeky buggers. Right, so today we're going to be talking about some of the cultural things to look forward to in 2025. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be cheerful. I'm trying to be cheerful, because if we talked about politics, it'll just be half an hour of me with my head in my hands, saying the word over and over and over again. There you go. Band of Harp Jays, thank you very much for the Happy New Year there. Happy New Year to you as well. And Damien saying Happy 2025, everyone. Hi all says Veg Pie, and Captain says morning all, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, woo! All fun. Colin Baker, R.I.P. Johnny Walker. I was surprised to learn that it wasn't his real name, and he was privately educated. Well, get yourself onto the private school mafia list. But he seemed like a good guy, though, apparently. And John Mortar was telling us yesterday he once met Johnny Walker, and Johnny Walker had called Noel Edmonds a C unit. So obviously John liked him immediately. Okay, so moving on. First of all, we've got the gigs of next year. Didn't manage to get a ticket to Glastonbury. Or tickets to Glastonbury. So I don't really care about who's playing Glastonbury, but Rod Stewart is. So Rod Stewart playing Glastonbury. Yay! I watched the Hootenanny last night, which I don't normally do. I'm normally out. But we had a night in for the first time since we had to have a night in because of COVID back in 2020 and 2021. We watched the Hootenanny. And it was all... I don't know, it was all a bit like, gloomy, I guess, watching it. It just, I don't know if it's always like that, but it just felt very stilted and very kind of like, yeah, it's New Year. And he was going around, Jules Holland's trying to do interviews with these people, and they were like, yay, it's great to be here, I guess. And plus they had Roger Deacon from Queen on, and he's looking very old. And also Bob Geldof was on. He's looking very old. Bob Geldof's last number one hit was 45 years ago. Yeah. So anyway, in that vein, we've got the big thing people are talking about this year is that Oasis of having a reunion. Oh joy! Hurrah! Anyway, so you can listen to their music that you could have listened to over the last 30 years, because it's been around for 30 years. So it's not like you'll have got sick of it by now or anything. How sweet it is to be an idiot, as Noel Gallagher once ripped off Neil Innes. Anyway, moving on. So we got Dua Lipa, who I don't really rate very much because all her songs sound like this. And they always have this bit in it that goes like this. And then they have a bit more talking or singing, whatever, and then they go. And it's not real clapping. It's kind of like, you know when you got a Casio keyboard. Do you remember the Casio key? Do you remember the clapping effect on a Casio keyboard back in the 80s, where you'll press the key and it will go, and then you press the key next to it and it'll go, and then you press the key next to it and it'll go. Yeah, it's like that. Anyway, Lana Del Rey. Who looks completely different these days. I don't know what she's done to herself. She's only in her 30s. She's going to be singing in Anfield. Actually, that might be quite good. I might go to that. While Stray Kids, who are a K-pop band, I'll be doing 2 nights at Tottenham Hotspur. And I've got to respect that. I've got to respect that because, you know, I've never heard of them. And yet they're doing 2 nights at the stadium. Fantastic. Thanks for making me feel old, K-pop. Victoria Townsend says, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Project 2025. I do hope everyone has a good year. However, I'm just hoping the orange one just shouts and doesn't do much. I hope that he shouts, help, I'm having a heart attack. And then doesn't do much for the rest of time. Oh, sorry, yes. John Deacon, sorry. Sorry, I've just woken up. John Deacon from Queen. Sorry, not Roger Taylor. No. Bob Marley's No Woman No Cry was 50 years old back in November, says Phil. Thought C-Mac was fab last night. Have you heard the voice of Bass Prot, woman from Indonesia? No, I haven't, but that sounds good to me. And Anthony says, well, 2025 isn't off to a great start. Just had a text from DWP for an appointment on the 15th to see if I'm still entitled to my benefit money. Yay, more stress and worry. God, I'm sorry, Anthony. That sucks, doesn't it? Everything's out to get you. Don't make a single mistake. Do not make a single mistake or you'll get a fine or you have to pay more. I'll tell you a little story. So you might have read about this if you follow me on Twitter, but I don't post on Twitter very often. The only reason why I do is if I want to install Elon Musk or talk to a company that should be doing something that didn't. So imagine we were driving in the car, and we actually were. So you don't have to imagine it. I'll just tell you, we were driving in the car, and I was driving, and obviously we had a big storm here yesterday, and there was like a telegraph pole that has electricity cables on it, like 4 electricity cables in a row, about a mile from our house. And we noticed it had just snapped. It had just snapped off. Don't know if it'd been hit by a car or the wind or whatever. It had snapped. It was a wooden pole. And basically it was sort of hanging at 45 degrees, right? And the only thing keeping it off the ground was the other cables that were going to it. And the storm was raging, and I thought, as I often do, I better report this because everyone goes, oh, don't worry, someone will report it. I'm sure someone will report it. No one ever does, right? So reported it. Well, tried to report it. Anyway, so Kat agrees with me. So I'm driving. Kat goes online, and she looks up the national grid number for emergencies. So we dial that. Hello, what's the emergency? Okay, well, there's a telegraph pole and it's got electrical cables on it. And it's fun. Now, where are you? County Durham. Oh, no, you need to dial 105 and speak to Power Grid North, Power Grid North, or something, whatever. Hippogriff North. Anyway, so I'm like, okay. So I hang up, dial 105. And then we get this automated message. And it's like, there's a sketch in Monkey Dust that's like this, where he's trying to get through to the cinema. And I wasn't trying to buy a fucking pizza. I was trying to, report something that could be a life-threatening situation involving electrical cables on the ground in a storm when it's raining and it's wet and it's right next to someone's house. It's kind of like a thing that should be reported, I guess. So anyway, we get this thing that says, please, we cannot identify you from the number you have called. Please type in please say after the beep your postcode. So then you start saying your postcode, right? W498692228. But as you're saying that, it goes, or you can tell us your phone number. And I'm like, okay, I give them postcode. And then it says, you said your postcode was W1492X. And I'm like, no. Is this correct? No. Okay, let's try. And then I give it my postcode again. It gets it wrong. I try and use my phone number, which isn't the phone we're calling on because I don't actually know that off the top of my head, which is bad probably. I know my own phone number. I'm calling through Kat's phone. And eventually, after about, honestly, about 10 minutes of this, I finally get through to an operator. And they're like, hi, what's the problem? I said, there's a telegraph pole. It's fallen over in the storm and you need to get some tape around it, in case a kid tries to chew on it or something. And you're like, oh, sorry, we don't deal with that. I'm like, what? I've been waiting 10 minutes to get on to you, and you're telling me you don't work. No, we don't. That's not our department. You need to talk to EDF. EDF? What, the English Defence Force? No, that's a different thing. Oh, okay. So why do I need to speak to them? Because they're the operator in that area. Yeah, but you're Northern Power Grid. Yeah, but you need to talk to them. Okay. Should I just call the fire brigade? Like, seriously? Like, I mean, what? So anyway, they put me through to EDF, and they just put me through to the fucking customer care line, I guess. Not the emergency, oh my God, there's a cable on the ground kind of situation. Just, we got jazz music. We got jazz music, friends, for like 10 minutes of jazz music. And we got to our destination at this point. We were just sitting in the car, me and Kat, going, while this music went, and I was like, oh my God, what is even happening here? So in the end, I press hang up, and which you never want to do when you're on hold, because you always worry that you might have been that. They play on that, don't they? The gambling thing where you think, oh, I'm on you next. Anyway, so I called 999, called the fire brigade, and I said, look, there's an electricity cable down. I tried to report it to the electricity people. I've tried to report it to National Grid, Northern Powerhouse Rail, or whatever the fuck it's called, and EDF, and I've had no success, and it's taken me half an hour, so I'm calling you. And they were like, we don't deal with this kind of thing. You need to talk to the electricity suppliers. And I was like, anyway, so I said, okay, look, I thought that it was worth reporting. It's not my property. It's not my street. I tried. Okay, I just don't have any more spirit in me, Christmas spirit of being a do-gooder. I'll be a do-badder instead. Didn't say that, but, I thought it. Anyway, so I hung up. And then I walk like about 5 minutes walking town. And then my phone goes in my pocket. I pick it up. Hello. And it's the fire brigade. Hey, mate, we're going to check out that cable that's come down. Where is it? And I tell them where it is. Okay, we'll be there in a few minutes. Thanks. They must have had this conversation or something because obviously the person who answers the phone for fire emergencies isn't like working in the fire station with the people. But maybe they put a message through going, there's a cable down and this guy's trying to report it, but the system won't let him. The moral of this story is privatization sucks. And if you want a effective service that works in an emergency situation, privatization where the shareholders are put before safety, or the customers, or literally anything else in life, you're not going to have a great service. And you're just going to get bounded around from pillar to post when you're just trying to be a good citizen. Anyway, that's what happened to me yesterday. Happy New Year, everyone. Woo! Currently, all my energy is from renewables, so they tell me the cost is still high. So, Julian, yeah, because they set the price of your energy according to the price of gas, which is dead expensive at the moment. That's nice, isn't it? Putin came in on Y2K. Well, it was the 31st of December 1999 that Boris Yeltsin resigned and Vladimir Putin, the Putin came in, the Putin, as the Canadians call him, and he was acting president until about May in 2000, and then he became the real president, probably by rigging an election. A magical combination of dangers. Yes, thanks very much, Band of Flapjays. I thought that as well. Électricité de France. They are the operator for London, France, and Tup North. Yeah, that makes sense. The modern version of the computer says no. I know. The system relies on apathy. It's a powerful weapon. Yeah, so's a cable. It's got 400 volts of electricity going through it. 400,000 volts, maybe. I don't know. It was a household cable. It wouldn't have been that much. So, still, dangerous in a storm. It fallen away from the road. I mean, I don't think it would have killed anyone, but still, it was just really, really frustrating. I was just like, I just want to tell someone. Anyway, back to what's happening next year. We've got Roan are going to be headlining Reading and Leeds. Congratulations to Chapel Roan for that. Again, Charli XCX and Sabrina Carpenter are also going to be playing over here. So, that's good. That's nice, isn't it? I don't know if I like Chapel Roan. Someone told me that she might have problematic political beliefs. Is that right? Is that right? Someone tell me in the chat. I don't know. Is it all right to like Chapel Roan and her Pink Pony Club? There's new music on the way from Sam Fender, whoever that is, and The Weeknd. Yay. And Lady Gaga's going to be coming back. How do you annoy Lady Gaga? Poker face. There you go. More Christmas cracker jokes for you later on in the show. Madonna is back in the studio. And yay. And the UK's biggest rapper, Central C, is gearing up to release his debut album in January. I love the way it's like UK's biggest rapper. He hasn't released an album yet. How things change. And Benjamin says there might be a change on how price for electricity is calculated in midsummer after the consultation took place in early 2024. Oh, that's good. For a service-based economy, that's not a good showing. Oh, indeed, it's not. I always wondered how failed mayoral candidate became president of Russia, and then Johnson put Sean Bailey in the House of Lords. Indeed. Household cables around 400/230 volts. Yeah, I said 400 to start with, but yeah, I didn't think it was 400,000 because they're the big ones. They're the big bastard ones that are up on the big bastard pylons that for some reason the Tories don't like anymore. I mean, I don't like pylons, to be honest with you. I remember going on holiday to Wales when I was a kid, camping holidays, and we'd go rambling through the mountains because that's what you did in the 1980s, I guess, in Wales. There wasn't much else to do. We didn't have an internet, or we did. We just didn't have access to it. And the pylons always pissed me off. I was so bloody ugly, bloody fugly they were, fugly. Happy Wednesday, all, says Alan Jackson, and Di says she's down your way, progtastic. Woo! Marty Pello from Wet has announced a new tour this year. Yeah. I'm trying to. I can't even. I'm never going to forgive them for Love Is All Around from bloody Love Actually. What's it called? Notting Love Actually. No, Four Weddings and a Funeral, which was just at number one for like too long. Anyway, you hear the song once and you might go, oh, okay, that's all right. Or you might think, oh, that's a bit irritating. And the 1,000th time you've heard that same song, you hate it. That's it. Whether you loved it at the start or hated it at the start, the 1,000th time. It's not like you've gone, oh, wow, the 1,000th time I've heard this song, I suddenly start to like it. My brain is releasing different chemicals now. I used to hate this song. Do you know what the best songs are? The ones you haven't heard in fucking ages. And then you listen to it and I love this. That was boss. That was boss. And then leave it for another 5 fucking years where you listen to it again. Seriously. Anyway, Kendrick Lamar is going to be headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. Yay! And also the Grammy Awards are going to take place, I guess, and the Brits are going to take place, and the Oscars and the Golden Globes and oh god, who cares? Anyway, like I mentioned, Rod Stewart's playing Glastonbury. And the Download Festival's lineup is Green Day, Korn, Weezer. We're going to party like it's 1995. Yes! But, they're not old enough, so they've also got the Sex Pistols, or one of the people from the Sex Pistols, and some random other people. And also, it's going to be the golden anniversary of Bohemian Rhapsody. It's 50 years since Bohemian Rhapsody came out. In film, we're going to have another film about Bob Dylan. I've never watched any of the other films about Bob Dylan, but filmmakers seem to like to make movies about Bob Dylan. I like Bob as a poet in the same way that I like Leonard Cohen as a poet. As a singer, yeah, anyway, if you had the choice, right, whether you had to listen to Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix or by Bob Dylan, who would you choose? Who would you choose? Tell me in the chat now. Jimmy or Bobby? Who would you want singing you that song? I mean, it's a fantastic song. It's one of the best. It's one of the all-time greats. But yeah, who would you prefer? Also, there's going to be Timothy Chalamet is going to be in. He's in everything these days, isn't he? There's going to be a movie about the Holocaust. Yay! That's going to cheer us all up. There's also going to be a new Mike Leigh movie. That's going to cheer us. And it's called Hard Truths, and it's about a depressed middle-aged woman. Fuck me. Are they trying to just get us to just shut up and go away, just crawl into the corner and into a ball and just cry for all it? Is that what they're trying to do? A depressed, middle-aged woman. This is the problem with British movies, man. I swear. Imagine going in to like Hollywood, into like someone's executive office on the 7,000th floor of some building in LA, and you walk in, you're like, I've got this idea for a film. And they're like, what is it? Aliens? Spaceships? Robots? What's going to happen? Explosions? Is it going to fill the screen with action and adventure? No, it's about a depressed middle-aged woman. Sorry, what? A play for today. So you're basically going to do a play for today on the BBC from the 70s, right? You're going to do that, but you want £1 million for it, and you want to put it on a big screen for everyone to... Yes. Anyway, stop the world. I want to get off. Jimmy, 100%. Jimmy Hendrix. Jimmy Hendrix. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that Bob Dylan's not talented. He absolutely is. But he is a great poet. Not as good as singer as someone like, Simon and Garfunkel, who I think are beautiful singers. Ain't going to work on Maggie's Farm no more. No. Filmmakers like the 50s and 60s, so they commission lots of films that are set in that era, hence Bob Dylan films, indeed. Hearing Mariah Carey at Christmas makes me die a little inside, says Scott. Well, yeah, it's because you hear the same songs over and over and over and over again. It just, yeah, and if you didn't like them in the first place, God help us. I'm going to cough now, so just give me a moment. Phil Spicer saying, I always preferred Dylan's songs performed by other artists. Yeah, I mean, Leonard Cohen songs, I prefer First We Take Manhattan by R.E.M. I do prefer the cover of Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. I just do. Even though I do like the original. But the covers, I don't know. Probably because Jeff Buckley died. I know, like Leonard Cohen's gone as well, but there's like a James cover of So Long Marianne, which is a bit crap, but then that's not one of his best songs. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. There was a Nick Cave. Nick Cave did a cover, didn't he? He did a cover of a Leonard Cohen song at some point. It's on like B-sides and rarities, I think. Am I just dreaming this? Am I just making this up? I don't know. I know Johnny Cash did a fucking awesome cover of The Mercy Seat by Nick Cave, which is bloody brilliant. Good morning from a rainy Edinburgh. I'm off to work. The joys of retail, says Kevin Ladd 100. Well, I'm sorry. Some of us have to get up and work. Can't beat Everyone Knows by Cohen. Yes, actually, I was going to say that. Of all the songs by Leonard Cohen, the one that I will just give to him and should always be his song, and his song alone, is Everybody Knows. It is such a good song, and delivered in the way that he delivers it, sung, I don't know, in the key of E minor, below the bass note, the last note on the piano. It's just, yeah, it's very dark. It's very dark. Anyway, moving on. Yes. By the way, we're also going to get. Oh my God. So there's going to be another movie about the Munich Olympics and when all the Israeli athletes were murdered, or taken hostage by a Palestinian military group, because we've only had a few of them before. We had, what was it, 5 days in September or 7 days in September? We had the movie Munich by Steven Spielberg. And now having another movie about that same event. We're just going to cheer everyone up. And Bridget Jones is coming back. Fucking hell. Okay. Right. There's a new Captain Marvel movie coming out with Anthony Mackie playing Falcon or whatever he plays. But he's going to be Captain America now. So that should be... honestly, if it's anything like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier or whatever it was called on Disney Plus, I'm not going to go and see it because that show was just awful. And it pisses me off so much when you have a really good IP, a dedicated audience, and you just feed them absolute swill. really pisses me off. There's another Fantastic Four movie, the fourth Fantastic Four. Well, actually the fifth, but who's counting? They're going to try and reboot it again. There's another sequel out from Danny Boyle, which is going to be called 28 Years Later, following on from the events of 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and now they've skipped the whole month thing and just gone straight for 28 years later. It's going to have Jodie Comer in it, and Britain's going to be, I guess, quarantined because of the rage virus that makes people into fast zombies. We're also going to get Jurassic World Rebirth. That's the name of the film. Jurassic World Rebirth, because dinosaurs were cool in 1993. We're going to have another the Mission Impossible movie. But it's not going to have it's not going to have Rebecca Ferguson in it. So literally, there's no point in going to see it for me. Sorry, I'll probably end up seeing it, actually. So that's going to be called The Final Reckoning. And there's another John Wick film with Keanu Reeves in it. But if you saw the last film, you might know that there might not be another one. Well, there probably will be, but there might not be. As a sequel, this is a prequel. This is set between Chapters 3, Parabellum, and Chapter 4, which didn't have a subtitle for some reason. It was just called Chapter 4. I think they were going to call it The Final Chapter, and then someone in the studio went, no, just in case. Just in case, you know. We did that with Chapter 4 of Friday the 13th. We said that was it. It was the final chapter. And then he came back in the fifth. Actually, it wasn't him in the fifth. Sorry, spoilers. He did actually come back in the sixth because they decided to dig up his corpse and stick a metal rod in it just in time for lightning to strike that rod and reanimate him back to life. Good old Jason Voorhees. Which is, you know, there's a Friday Nightmare on Elm Street movie where literally Freddy Krueger gets reanimated, reawakened by a dog pissing fire in a scrapyard on him. The 80s were a wild time. Anyway, so yes, but there's going to be a John Wick spin-off called Ballerina, and I'm quite excited about this because a few years ago there was a movie called James Bond that came out, a small movie, I don't think anyone saw it, and in it there was a scene set in Cuba, so, no spoilers here, I'm trying to do some spoilers. Anyway, this guy called James Bond who's the worst spy in the world. He tells everyone who he is, everyone knows who he is, and he just sort of bumbles through and comes out on top of every adventure just by dumb luck, basically. He always has the gadgets, the exact gadgets he needs to get out of exact situations. He's a bit like Mr. Bean, but a spy. So, yeah, I think someone did a spin-off where that was the actual premise. But yeah, so this guy, James Bond, he's in Cuba, and they have to kill all these people in the bars, in this bar. And he teams up with Ana de Armas, who was in Blade Runner 2049, and she was also in Knives Out, the movie, and she was also in Blonde. I think it was called Blonde, about Marilyn Monroe. She was in that as well. Anyway, she's gorgeous, and they were two assassins, spies, whatever, and they had to do this thing where they had to kill everyone, but they were sort of dancing as they did it because they thought they'll take their cue from The Greatest Showman, because that's sort of thing that you'd expect in a James Bond movie. And they kept on taking shots of drinks, and then tequila or something, and I suppose rum, actually, if they're in Cuba, and then they'll shoot some more people, and they'll stop and do a little swirl around each other, and then have another drink. I'm maybe in my head, I'm just pushing this across, conflating it with The Greatest Showman scene, in which the Greatest Showman himself, Wolverine, tries to get Zac Efron from High School Musical to join his team of freaks and geeks. That was another movie. Anyway, moving on. It was brilliant. The scene was brilliant in James Bond, right? And I said to Catherine afterwards, do you know what would be brilliant, right? If they just did a movie about Ana de Armas' character, just being this kick-ass assassin who just goes around dancing and shooting people and having a drink. And they've literally made that movie. They have made that movie, and it's called Ballerina, and it's set in the world of John Wick. So I'm weirdly excited about it. Well, not weirdly. I am excited about that one. There's going to be a new Superman as well. Yay! Because, if a story's worth telling, it's worth telling 1,000 times. So, expect Superman to be doing super things and being super sad and super happy and super fast, and it's daft. Superman's really daft. Superman is the daftest superhero because no one recognises him when he takes his glasses off. That's just daft. That's just the daftest thing that I could... He lives in a world where everyone's an idiot. And he can fly and stop bullets. Yay. And he's like a Boy Scout. Yay. And he fights against a real estate developer. Yeah, the 30s were a wild time. At least in Batman, he's got like a rogues gallery. You know, in Spider-Man, the Sinister Six or Sinister Seven or whatever, Sinister Six. You know, at least you've got different characters that they have to fight against each week. Oh no, Rhino, I'm gonna get you, you bastard! Ah, take this, Scarecrow! Ah, Joker, your mother. In Superman, it's General Zod, isn't it? Who's another Superman, but he's an evil Superman. You must fight an evil version of yourself in order to win this quest. Fight! Okay, cool. Or it's Lex Luthor, who's a property developer. Okay, cool, great, can't wait for that. And then there's another movie about racing called F1, which we've already had Grand Prix and Ferrari and God knows what else. 24 Hours in Le Mans or whatever it was called. So yeah. Anyway, TV, right. Oh shit, I'm 4 minutes over time. Sorry. There's nothing fun about a superhero scared of green rocks, indeed. At 3:15 p.m. on December the 23rd, a Santa Cruz surfer rode a 108 feet wave at Mavericks, the largest wave ever served. What? Ever served? Ever served. Jeez. Saw the Cardiacs back in the day a few times. Saw the collaboration with Spiritualized too. Truth that Superman once fought Muhammad Ali. That was a great comic book. A white man with the power to move the earth fighting a black man who didn't have that power. He fought Nazis in the 40s. Oh God, maybe he could do that again. Maybe he could come back and just like take out all the Trumpers. That'd be good. Although there's a hope that they're all going to take themselves out. It's going to be like the end of Reservoir Dogs in MAGA. I hate immigrants. We need immigrants. No. Everyone's pointing guns at each other because it's America, and that's the kind of thing they'll probably do. So on TV, we've got Missing You, about a police officer who finds her former fiancé on a dating app. Yay! There's another Harlan Coben novel being adapted. The Traitors is coming back, which I haven't actually watched. Everyone keeps talking to me like I've seen The Traitors because they just assume that I have, and I haven't. And now I feel like I'm a bit behind the times because I haven't seen it. So yeah, my FOMO might force me to watch it this time. And then there's a drama on the ITV, which might be crap. Wednesday is coming back, the Addams Family spin-off, which I quite enjoyed. I've got to say, it was quite enjoyable for a daft TV show. And Jenna Ortega was brilliant in it. So yeah, hopefully. That and Stranger Things will be back for its final fifth series. We literally haven't had a series of Stranger Things since what, 2021? Was it 2021? The last 2022? It was years ago. It was literally years and years and years ago. So yeah, well, they'll be capping off the Stranger Things universe, but they won't. There'll be a spin-off, I'm sure. And there'll be second helpings of the Night Manager with Tom Hiddleston. And also The Last of Us. There's going to be another series of that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be another series of Slow Horses next year. And we're also going to have The White Lotus will be coming back. We're going to have another Game of Thrones spin-off. So this isn't House of the Dragon. This is a new one called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Which sounds so shit. I mean, it sounds like Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I know he's ripped off so much from Tolkien, so he may as well take some of the daft things from him. Hopefully it'll have Tom Bombadil in it. Who knows? And another spin-off comes from the Whoniverse, which the Doctor Who universe, because they used to have these spin-offs like the Sarah Jane Adventures. They had Torchwood, and then they stopped all that, and then they went, okay, we'll just make Doctor Who. And then they started doing this title thing when Ncuti Gatwa took over. It said Whoniverse, and you're like, oh, so there's more. Yeah, and there's a spin-off called The War Between the Land and the Sea. Okay. That doesn't sound exciting, does it? It doesn't sound like space people and aliens and robots and lasers and stuff. There's going to be a documentary about Lockerbie. No, actually, it's not a documentary. It's going to be a TV drama. Oh, there you go. No, there is going to be an investigation. I guess it's nearly 40 years on, so let's make some stuff about Lockerbie, I guess. And EastEnders is going to do a live episode in February, so if you're feeling like that, do it. We've got some fashion news coming in. That fashion is not going to change again for the 25th year in a row. This was pointed out by Jason Pargan a couple of years ago, and he reposted the video he did. Yes, well, I saw it yesterday, and it makes a really good point of like, if you see a show from 20 years ago, from 2005, they're wearing the same clothes that we are. Their haircuts are the same as what they are at the moment, But if you showed something in the 90s that was set, that was filmed in the 70s, oh my God, it's so different. Like the style, the look, everything. The 80s, the style, the look, so different. The 90s even, everyone looked like they were wearing each other's clothes. The style, there wasn't much of a style, but there was a style, there was a look to the 90s. And then the millennium happened and we just went, let's just wear hoodies forever. Hoodies and jeans. Till the end of time, till the heat death of the universe. Yay! Anyway, privatization sucks, says Diz. Yes. I still don't get Game of Thrones. Well, just download it, mate. Oh, I mean, you don't get it. Not so much the show, but the fandom. I mean, it's watchable. But I mean, I think the fandom gave up on it really with the last season of the actual TV show, which everyone, universally has agreed, just absolutely sucked the big one. Trump is the Red Skull. Elon is Dr. Doom. Why is it so complicated to report something? Says Diz. They make it. They make the system like this. They've had to sit down and they said, listen, what happens if someone's driving along and they see a cable on the ground and they need to know what number to call? And they go, well, we'll make it really simple. We'll make it so, because the first thing they'll do is they'll go on the internet and they'll ask Google and they'll get an AI overview now, which gets everything wrong. And that will tell them to ring the national grid. But then you'll ring the national grid and they'll tell you, no, we don't deal with that. You need to actually call the people who operate your area, who do the installation of the pipes, cables, tubes, whatever, that they push the electricity baubles down. Because that's how it works, isn't it? And don't break the baubles. So they went, yeah, that's great, just we'll send them off to there, and then they'll get through to there, and they'll say, no, we're not interested either. Maybe I didn't explain it very well. Don't know. I'm not very articulate. Books. So there's going to be Susan Collins is going to be doing another Hunger Games novel. Hurrah! Oh wow, we got the first super chat of the year. Woo! That was worth hanging on for, wasn't it? Thank you so much to Ghost Pouch for the £5 super chat. That is really kind of you. Thank you. Happy New Year. Love Morning Brew. It really helps as part of my morning ADHD routine. Yeah, it helps with mine as well. That's why I do it. So yeah, thanks very much for that £5 super chat. First of the year. And then we're going to have another novel. I don't care. Right, moving on. Finally, Pope Francis is doing an autobiography called Hope. Anyway, so there's going to be some exhibitions around the country. We've got Whitworth Art Gallery in Manchester, in Whitworth Park, just off Oxford Road. You can go and see some Turner masterpiece, JMW. BMW Turner. There'll be some pieces by Turner in there, of the first winner of the Turner Prize, presumably. And there's going to be an Edward Munch exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery. Or there's going to be a picture of him. Meanwhile, there's going to be the photography of Lee Miller, brought to life on the big screen by Kate Winslet last year in the movie Lee. I think it was called Lee. And there you go. And then the Ulster Museum in Belfast. Visitors can delve into the science of love on Valentine's Day. So if you're in Belfast, go for it, my friends. And the V&A Dundee, I didn't even know there was a V&A in Dundee, is hosting a UK first exhibition on the history of modern garden design. Cool. I guess it's very niche. And then we've got in London, there's a load of theatre things going on. We've got Jonathan Bailey in Shakespeare's Richard II, a play that nobody's knows, I think. Richard II. You know Richard Lionheart, don't you? You know Richard III, Princes in the Tower, stabby, lost to the Battle of Bosworth. Okay, but Richard II, what the fuck did he do? I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't even. Lily Allen continues her reinvention as an actress. She can do that. She was privately educated, of course. And then there's a new James Bond satire called A Role to Die For, following a female film producer as she prepares to unveil her new star. So that's called that's going to be a James Bond spoof, I guess. There's going to be Helen Serafinowicz, who is the sister of Peter Serafinowicz, is going to be doing a comedy at Liverpool's Royal Court. She's from Liverpool originally, as is Peter, and his other brother who went to my school. You used to call him Seno because that surname's kind of unpronounceable. Anyway, it's going to be called The Legend of Rooney's Ring, and it's going to be somehow about the Lord of the Rings, but also Wayne Rooney because reasons. But yeah, anyway, Helen's a very, very funny writer. She wrote Motherhood, which she started writing with Graham Linehan, who was her husband. But then Graham Linehan went fucking nuts and decided that he didn't want to have a family anymore or friends. He just wanted to sit on his own in his little bed sitting Croydon and type on his phone nasty things about trans people for the rest of time. Thanks for that, Graham. Doing a disservice to Graham's everywhere, mate. But yeah, they got divorced. Anyway, so moving on. We've also got Nessie, a musical about a nature-loving 11-year-old girl whose meeting with the Loch Ness Monster leads to a quest to save the loch. From what? Climate change? And then there's some other stuff that's happening around the country. I don't know. You've got the internet, haven't you? Look it up yourself. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Is it Coastal Erosion? Yes. The Stranger Things stage show is very good, says Veg Pie. I've seen it 3 times. The young chap who played Henry Creel was supremely talented, has gone off to play him in Broadway. That's pretty cool. Thank you very much to Ghost Pouch again. Daisy is saying, yes, Ghost Pouch. Crystal Bowles, I made it 10 minutes into Lee before the director's decision started putting me off. Wow. Is it me? Is it me? You know when you start like a sentence, Sarah, with "Is it me?" Is it me, or has fireworks gotten louder last night? It sounded like my area was being bombed with mortars. Oh shit! I'm sorry. We hardly got anything here. I live in a village. It's a mining village, and it was pissing down with rain last night, so there wasn't much going on. What I would advise, if you do have animals, and it's a bit late to say this now, but, to the time machine, put music on, just loud enough to drown out the bangs, unless it's going off, like, literally next door to your house. It should drown it out quite effectively. Perhaps if Richard II wasn't a violent murderer, difficult to believe for a royal, but not impossible. If Conclave is still at the cinema, do go and see it. Was going to see Conclave in Toronto when I was there, but we did for one reason or another. We never got around to it. But yeah, I do want that. And my mum's in the chat saying, "Happy New Year, everyone! Happy New Year, Mum! Happy New Year!" I was supposed to be at my mum's for New Year this year, but this cold and the weather conspired against me. Although the weather's not looking too bad. We were told we were going to be under 15 feet of pure white snow, but didn't happen. My cat is weird. She loves fireworks. That's all right then, isn't it? My neighbours seem to have acquired some mortars too. Bloody deafening. I don't want to upset anyone watching this who's a big dog fancier or whatever dog owners call themselves these days. Whatever the kids are calling themselves. But I have to say, I do find it a little bit rich. Sorry, I don't mean to upset you by saying this, but like every year around bonfire night, we get the same messages coming up on social media. My dog is freaking out because of the fireworks. This is shit. Okay, and I have just utter sympathy for the people who are going through that and the dogs. I don't want dogs or cats or any animals, to be honest with you, to be stressed out like that. So, obviously playing music is a solution to that. But they're very much like, no, we should ban all fireworks. We should stop fireworks. We should not have any fireworks displays. We should not allow. And I'm kind of like, looking at going, I mean, it's not like it's every night. It's only, around 2 times of the year we have bonfire night. And do you know what? I've walked down the street many, many times in my life and just been walking along, and then I've walked past a gate and I've been looking at my phone, probably playing Pokemon, and then the loudest noise that you've ever heard just goes ruff at me from one side of me and makes me jump out my fucking skin, right? And makes me drop my fucking... And it's a dog that has scared me by just waiting for me to pass the gate so they could just bark loudly in my direction. I've been bitten by dogs, and I was bitten by a dog in India, which is really unpleasant. Years ago, bitten by a mangy street mutt. Yay! And also, I want to just say something, right? I can say for absolute certainty, that I have never ruined anybody's day by them standing in my dog shit. One of the reasons for this is when I did have a dog, he lived on the island with me, so there was no one around to step in his shit. But I have had days of my life ruined, I mean genuinely ruined, because I'm late to get somewhere and suddenly I've got shit all over my shoe and I've got to sort that shit out before I walk into the Albert Hall or wherever the hell I'm going. It has ruined my day. And I can see, if you think about, extrapolate it out, it would have ruined people's weddings, it would have ruined people's birthdays, it would have ruined people's anniversaries. You go out for a night out with your partner, for a meal, and you step in dog shit. Oh, fuck! And that's all you can think about the whole meal is you got shitty shoes, you shitty shoe bastard. So, yeah, I mean, if you are going to say that fireworks should be banned, well, okay, can I say that dogs should be muted and have their bum holes kind of taken away from them? Or maybe just pick up their shit. Irresponsible dog owners. I'm irresponsible dog owners. Yeah, but can you honestly say that you've picked up every piece of shit that your dog has dropped out of its bum? Can you? Can you really? Come on. There must have been one time you weren't looking and you just went off and dropped a couple of dog eggs around the back of a bush or something. You were like, oh, I'll just leave it there. Yeah, yes. Anyway, so we have a particular problem here in Durham, where I live. Like, people just, you've got to look where you're walking all the freaking time. That's all I'm saying. Isn't the snow now coming on Sunday? Oh, I would have gone to Liverpool. And Jamie says, good morning, happy new year. Hope stop the genocide, stop sending arms and free Palestine. Well, it would be nice. I'm really, really concerned about what's going to happen in Palestine this year in the Gaza Strip and the upcoming annexation of the West Bank. Trust me on this one. I think it's coming. And Trump not doing anything about it. Christopher Bell says, when I had a dog, I did 100% pick it up. So Christopher, well done you. If I could send a super chat your way, I totally would. Graham's number one enemy, smokers with shitty arse dog. Yeah, smokers, smoking a bifter, throw the dog end on the ground next to the dog shit. Yeah. Pat Remedy is amazing for calming pets. Better than Feliway. Comes in sprays, wipes and plugins. Woohoo! Plug it in. Where'd you plug it in? Oh, you plug it into the wall. Sorry. Just sounded so wrong there. Gwyneth says, as per my New Year's resolution, I set out this morning for a walk. 10 minutes later, I'm soaked, blooming rain in Devon. Happy New Year all, says Gwyneth. Well, at least you got out and at least you got a shower. It was fireworks every night. The animals will get used to it. The problem is we restrict their exposure. Yes, Christopher, we should have dogs going out all the time. No fireworks going off. We should have fireworks going off all the time. That'll make that one. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway. Right, so thank you so much for joining me on this show. This first show of the new year, which is very, very, very exciting. I don't think we're going to do a show tonight because we're still in holiday mode, aren't we? I think. And so we'll be back in the morning at 9:30 for another morning brew. And we'll be talking about what the hell's going on in the world. Because someone's got to. I please join us for that. I hope you had a good New Year last night and whatever you did, whether you went out and parties or stayed at home. Sat on the couch and watched the fireworks on the telly. They were really good fireworks, by the way, in London. If you just watch the clip of the fireworks going off, they were very, very impressive. But yes, Our dog is far more affected by loud cars, buses, aircraft. Yeah, Scott. I mean, yeah, it's different for everyone. It's different for everyone, you know. If it was, I've read that one. And yeah, fairly way. New Strange New Worlds coming out this year. Easy for you to say. New Strange New Worlds from Janeway and Star Trek prequel. Cheers for that, Janeway. I hate New Year's. It makes my depression worse. So don't concentrate on that then. Just find something else. Find something else. Because New Year's is bollocks. It's so arbitrary. We just picked a certain day and we went, this is the new year because we've been around the sun. But it could be any point around the sun, couldn't it? And someone pointed out that we should have really, if it could have been anywhere, why didn't we have it in the middle of summer? Like the king's birthday. Why didn't we have it in the middle of summer? You know, the official birthday is in the summer. So in case the king or queen was born in the middle of winter, so, you know, you can have a day off and when it's nice. Although we don't get a day off for the king or queen's birthday in the UK. They do in Australia, though. Fun fact. They appreciate the queen more than we do, or the king, by taking a day off work and getting really drunk. But yes, it is particularly arbitrary New Year's, but it's over now. It is over. We are now in balls deep into 2025, and yeah, we're not going to get out of it anytime soon. So strap in, people. Brace positions. Are you ready for this? I'm not. Yay! Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I will. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope bright and early. Give us a like on the way out. That would be really kind of you. And until then, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and Happy New Year!